Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David O'Reilly. I'm the London Director of Commend, a leading business solutions platform which allows SMEs right up and down Ireland and the UK across all sectors to interact with each other, find new customers, suppliers and trading opportunities. As part of our regular series of member spotlight interviews today, I'm delighted to welcome Jeff Walsh from Energy Peak, based in Manchester, to tell us a little bit about Energy Peak and his own background and how his business has come to be formed and what the future holds for Energy Peak and its customers. Jeff, it's a great pleasure to have you with us, and we're absolutely delighted to have you on board Commend as one of our very active members in the UK. Would you be able to tell us briefly a little bit about your own background and your journey towards becoming the MD of Energy Peak, and a little bit about what the business does and what your customers are looking for?
Super. Thanks very much, David, for the opportunity to have this conversation. I suppose more from the Irish side of Commend, my background would be mainly from ESB and that energy side. I also worked in air grids, so it's been specifically in energy. How Energy Peak came to be is ESB has a very strong innovation background. And the best way to describe the innovation pipeline within ESB is internal Dragon's Den. So all ideas that are around the corporate, around ESB, come to these dragons, and you assess the ideas based on size of the opportunity, customer need, how aligned with strategy it might be, and you pitch to the dragons. So I was very fortunate that Energy Peak was the first one to go ahead through the dragons to be funded to pull outside of the larger mothership in that startup capacity to build a new energy broker in the UK.
When you say energy broker, Jeff, could you sort of give us more of a flavour for exactly how that works? Because based on interactions we've had and how we've gotten to know each other as you've become a very active member of the platform, you're focused, I think, on a specific sector. Is that right? Could you tell us a little bit more about that and how that sort of played out during the COVID crisis, and what exactly customers are sort of getting from being on your system?
Super, yeah. So Energy Peak is the honest energy broker, protecting small businesses from being ripped off. Energy brokers, unfortunately, may not have the best name across the market. So it is an unregulated market where an awful lot of customers, I suppose, get caught out with energy blindness. They may not know if there's commissions built into their contract, what they're actually paying for, or do they view these services to be free? So this is something that Ofgem, the regulator, is now looking at, but it is the ethos in which Energy Peak was born, to be fully honest and fully transparent. So what we do is we separate the cost of energy versus the cost of our service. So if you're thinking about, say, an energy supplier, that's a one-to-one contract on I pay X pence per unit for electricity or gas. But the energy broker is a service within the middle, between the customer and the supplier, that provides energy education, energy advice, assists with any problems they may have, and acts on behalf of the customer, talking to the supplier. So what it does for small business, it saves them time, it saves them hassle, and it gives them the opportunity to have an energy expert on the other end of the phone if anything was to happen. In terms of the customer segments we started off with and where we are now, we were solely focused on hospitality and retail when we started off. These are the businesses that are very, very busy in normal times, but so the owners of these businesses, they're often everything from the ops manager right the way up to the financial director. They encompass the whole business. So it was to provide a service to them to say, look, this is what you should watch out for on your energy contracts. This is what the type of questions to ask about brokers. Brokers are not free, so don't fall into that trap. But also what we can do, what the services are, and separate them from energy and the services itself. Now, since COVID has opened up in the UK side, we've expanded our market to also include management companies, estate agents, as we're seeing quite a demand in that area for these add-on energy services.
And with the estate agent clients, does that actually cover all the properties that they manage, or do you mean their actual premises, the actual estate agent's premises itself?
So on the estate agent side, it's the offices of the estate agents, but also if they manage any communal areas within apartment blocks, whatever that might be, car parks, they're the meters. So the meters inside the apartment, that is up to the residential customers to make their own decisions in relation to suppliers, whatever that might be. But in terms of the commercial meters, that's where Energy Peak can provide a service.
And in terms of the structure and the setup of Energy Peak, Jeff, have you always worked within Energy Peak, and were you in the ESB before spinning out, or did you come in from a separate background? And how many other people are in the business with you at the moment?
Yeah, so my background, I've been with ESB now for the last 10 or 11 years, and I suppose we started Energy Peak just around Christmas time, so we're 6 or 7 months in now. I suppose that startup chaos is a daily motivation, and I suppose that's why you get up in the morning. And challenging time, Jeff. A very challenging time to set up a business, because I can imagine the logistics of doing this during COVID was probably quite tricky, especially moving. You had to relocate from Ireland to the UK, didn't you, as part of this project? Yeah. So I suppose there's an element of taking on a challenge is one thing, but taking on a challenge during COVID was a little bit of a step higher. So to put it into perspective, when I landed in the UK into Manchester Airport, 12 hours later, the latest lockdown was announced. And the following day, my stuff was meant to arrive into the apartment. But because of Brexit, it was delayed in the port for 3 weeks. So I had a fun few weeks where I was sleeping in my clothes, and I actually got a lend of a knife and fork from the reception desk downstairs. So it really was starting off with startup life. But I suppose they're fond memories now where you can look back and have a laugh. At the time, you're kind of questioning your decisions, and you're wondering where is the silver lining here. But now you look back and it's a nice funny story to look back on. So it's not always the most glamorous of lives being an entrepreneur, but it's definitely the most exciting thing. Yeah, and I actually seen something recently on social media, and it was about, personal growth or how much you learn. So the idea of being in a startup, whether it's 5x or 10x, whatever it might be, but all the cliches of no day is the same, but you're actually really living it. It's a very different experience, and it's my first time being involved in a startup, but it's something that really, I suppose, challenges but also motivates you. And in February, Vicky Chambers came on board with myself. So there's 2 of us in the business. Vicky has a great deal of experience in other brokers around Manchester. And I suppose what motivated Vicky to join Energy Peak was she's seen the bad practice that can happen in other brokers. And she wanted to be part of that change. How do we change the industry from the inside out and change the view of an energy broker to the customers to say, well, this is an add-on service. This is something that will actually help your business moving forward, as opposed to, unfortunately, the negative stories that can occur.
No, absolutely, and I'm very much looking forward to when I can actually get up to Manchester to sit down and say hello to you both, because we've only spoken over Zooms at this stage, as is so often the way during this COVID period that we've all come through. A lot of us haven't actually met up, but we feel like we know each other very well because we do, but we have yet to meet in person. Just one final question, Jeff, just to round things off. I mean, what does the future hold for Energy Peak that you're allowed to tell us about that's not sensitive internal information? In terms of, expanding to other cities and regions in the UK, are you primarily still focused just on the Manchester region at the moment, or are you kind of pushing up and down towards different places? Like obviously the London market obviously is massive, and indeed, further afield outside the UK. But what does the future have in store?
Yeah, I suppose that COVID aspect of knowing people over Zoom, and then if you were walking by them on the street, would you recognise them? It's something I found around Manchester where you've only met people on Zoom, and randomly you'd see them on the street. So yeah, definitely really looking forward to when you can get up to Manchester and actually meet in person. You know, whether we use the word the new normal, but that's what we used to do all the time. In terms of the future of Energy Peak, I would say we are very much focused at that kind of, again, another buzzword, the minimum viable product. So how do we take stock of where we currently are? What do the customers really want? How do we ensure we keep, again, another buzzword, keep pivoting what we're giving our customers? What do they want to see? What's valuable to them? And in terms of location wise, we currently cover across the UK, but our office is based in Manchester itself. And I'd see that remaining as is for the foreseeable future. And we can deal with customers all across the UK, and that is something we are looking to expand going forward. But in terms of physically located, I think we'll stay between the red and blue divide in Manchester.
Jeff, we're very much looking forward to watching the business develop and grow further. On behalf of all of the team at Commend and also all of the other members in Commend, I'd just like to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today to do the latest in our Member Spotlight interviews series, and looking forward to seeing you in person soon, and looking forward to continuing to help Energy Peak through the Commend Business Solutions platform, and also looking forward to seeing all of our other members soon. Stay safe, everyone, and massive thanks, Jeff, again for joining us today. Thanks very much.
Super. Thank you very much.